What's up, guys? Welcome back to Wrenching Wrecked. Jamming on the Sporty a little bit further today. So I need to order a new fender, I think. I don't want to... There's a lot of work to fix this one. It was on a big twin, so the chain is notched, or it's notched for chain clearance. For a big twin application, it's not going to work on a Sporty setup, but I think we're going to do something like this for the rear fender. Roughly, I got one long bolt through here, but I got to figure out if we're going to do a little duckbill kick up one or what we're going to do. I got to jump online and figure out what we need to get ordered, but I want to get a full fender for this just so we can run it all the way down. And I think that should be okay. We already have the sissy bar mount. It's a little taller than I'd like it, but I think that'll work just fine for the application. Typically, I would probably try and drop that down a little bit more on a personal one, get a little tighter clearance, but for this, it should be just fine. And then I need to figure out what we're doing for the gas tank. So I grabbed a Sporty tank. This is already rough sanded, pretty much ready to coat, but I gotta drill some holes in this first, and then we'll lay that out and figure out what we're gonna do for tank placement, how far up or down. We still don't have the seat yet, but at least get the tank mounted today, hopefully. I got some bungs somewhere that I brought over. I don't remember where I put them right now. But first things first, we gotta center up the holes on the tank. So for that, typically just use a center punch, spring loaded, kind of roughly mock out all of that. And where is it? I'm losing everything today. This guy. So spring loaded, we'll lay out some lines, try and find center there, stab that in, and then drill those out to work. Then we can put it up on the tank and mark it up on the frame. There's a couple holes up here that we're not gonna use that might get welded, I don't know yet. Might patch some of these back in, but it looks like they might have been threaded at one time, but there's not much thread there. I'd rather do a bung setup so I can put something in there that'll actually bite tight. So let's punch out this tank. All right, we got a center hole there. You can try and measure these out. I've never had really the best of luck doing that since all the tabs are kind of welded in there, but I think that should be okay on the rear. And grab some drill bits and drills. So we'll start with a small one and then kind of size it up. Start with a 3/32 here. I think that's actually pretty decent. And now we got that one done, so we can start sizing this one up. Should really check my bungs and see what we got here. Let me see what size we got for hardware. I'm guessing it'll be like a 5/16. So we were looking at what I got here. I got some 1/4-21s, little top hats. And I believe I also have some bigger ones. So I got 1/4-20s or 5/16. I think we're probably gonna go 1/4-20 here. What did I use? Yeah, 1/4-20 I think should be more than adequate for the tank mounts. But we will be drilling the frame that size. Wrap this in, and then I'll TIG weld around the steel bung into the frame, hopefully. At least that's the tentative plan. So we can scale this up to a little bit over, we'll go 15. Let's start with a 1/4 inch hole, and then we'll probably go up one size on the tank after. This one's always kind of the pain, in my opinion. Trying to center up this one, but I think it's a little easier coming from the back side. On these. Well, can't say Harbor Freight drill bits are the best quality compared to my other ones that I got sitting over there. But and we'll go with our final back up to 1/4 inch. We'll run a file over this one just to deburr it a little bit. But I don't know if I have files up here, so that's going to be a different time. Sweet, tank is ready. Now I can start playing with this on the frame itself. All right, I should turn the compressor on and drop this a little bit just so it's a little easier to get to, but see how far we can get with this and some zip ties. That'll rest there for now. Grab a couple zip ties. Let's figure out where we want this to land. Got to figure out a seat too, so that's kind of a pain. I think we're going to run up to the higher hole on here. There is one hole in the frame already. On the front. And I think I actually like for location. Risers. Yeah, I think that'll work. Something kind of like that. Let's see what this looks like from step back. And those bungs are going to be slightly elevated in the frame. I don't know if this is going to stay there depending on what seat we get, so that might change a little bit too. But kind of flush with this little bit in the rocker, the divot there. And then we go with risers through here. Should be all right. Cool. Well, I'm gonna center punch and drill a hole through the back frame. We'll start with that one and then we can figure out where this one will land up front. Looks like there's already a hole there. Let's see what this is. That should work. It's a 5/16 hole, but we're gonna drill that out for that bung anyway. But let me at least get a pilot going on here. and we'll be able to scale it up after. Okay. There we have it, and we'll just step up that front one. Looks like we're going to need about a 1/2 inch hole for that. This is where it would probably be beneficial to lower the bike too, but I don't want to turn the compressor on. It's a pretty big jump. Let's do a halfway in betweener. Almost hit myself in the face. All right. Where did I put the bungs? It was ridiculously loud. A little bit bigger. Might have to bust out the step bit on that one, open that up just a hair more. It's almost there. Go. That will sit in there just like that. And we'll do a TIG weld bead around there. Then we got to open up this front one. Sweet. What this looks like with our tank on before we start welding anything. All right. Grab one more 1/4-20 here for the rear. I think that'll work. So now we just got to clean up, grind some of the frame, powder off the frame, unfortunately, since we didn't think this through and shouldn't have coated the frame as quickly as we did. But that should be good enough for now. I'm happy with the placement. The bungs line up, the holes line up, everything looks good there. Obviously it's going to be a little teeter-tottery right now. Nothing's welded, but alignment looks good. We'll fire up the welder and do some grinding.
Alarm goes off at 4:45. Roll out of bed, rub the sleep from my eyes. Throw on a shirt and some jeans and my boots, and then it's time to make that morning drive. Work all day till I'm totally beat. Get back home and fall right to sleep. Alarm goes off in the morning and the cycle's complete. Work, sleep, repeat. sleep, repeat. Seems like yesterday I was 17, running bootlegs and draws and screens. Now I'm running up dead and I'm scrambling to make ends meet. So work, sleep, repeat. Sleep, repeat. Sometimes at work I just sit around and fantasize about how I could save myself from dying in this working life. And that alarm goes off again at 4:45. Roll out in bed, rub the sleep from my eyes. Throw on a shirt and some jeans and my boots, and then it's time to make that morning drive. Yeah, work, sleep, that's all I ever do anymore. Work, sleep. Somewhere up the line I forgot what I was working for. And there goes life, looks like it ain't slowing down for me. All I ever do is work, sleep, repeat. All I ever do is work, sleep, repeat. All I ever do is work, sleep, repeat.
Apparently the GoPro died. I don't know when that happened, but it did, so here we go. We got this TIG welded in now. Worked a little bit better. Definitely could have cleaned up a little bit farther on the powder. When I started getting on this side, it would pull up and splatter a little bit with the paint, but those are in. We'll let those cool down a little bit. Top one went a little bit smoother. The welder is kind of working. It just took a minute to get used to again. Little bit of a gap on this side, but the top one came out all right. Far from perfect, and I'm not a professional welder, but for tank mount bungs, they're in, and I actually don't think I'm gonna have to do any grinding on those since it's gonna get covered by the tank. So I'm gonna let that cool a little bit. Then we will bolt up the tank and pretty much let that live on there for the rest of the night. And then, yeah, I gotta figure out what we're doing for a fender, rear fender. Thought about running to Tractor Supply, see if they got one that I can modify and make work. But I do think I want to go with a full one. And if we do get a brand new one, they're not too bad, like 50, 60, 70 bucks or something. For the standard issue trailer style one, just a flat 5.5, 6 inch, something almost exactly like that, but not beat up. The other option I thought about doing was, do I clip this here and just do a semi fender? But I do like having the extra support on the bottom, and then maybe we'll end up making up some bungs to install those, whether we use an aluminum spacer and a longer bolt, or realistically, I think it might work out better if we make a threaded steel bung, weld that to the new fender when we get that laid out for mock-up, and kind of see how that goes. So let's let those cool, and we'll bolt the tank on, see what she looks like. It almost looks like a bike. So tank makes quite a difference just having it on there for sitting purposes. And then I gotta figure out what we're gonna do. I do think I wanna do something with the dual headlights. I just don't know. We'll have to make a custom bracket of some sort to make that work. The bolts in the top tree are too skinny to line up on these. I could do something down here if we drill and tap that or weld a bung on there. that's the final, closer to the end bits. But customer is coming over now. We'll go through, not filming that, but go through and kind of look at the fender options. I know we kind of like the idea of a real small, short one, but we will see what we're gonna do here. His bike, his choice. I just gotta make it work. So I will update you guys after that conversation and go from there. Okay, I'm getting ready to take off for the day. It's Sunday, so I don't want to be up here too late, but went over a couple things on here. We got the tank all mounted up, bolted in, rock solid. He does like the sissy bar orientation. I am going to have to order a full fender. We'll end up having the notch one side, but this being a big twin one, it's a little ugly, but when I do that, I can get a flat sprocket for the chain. I think that should fix the rest of my issues. Flat sprocket, axle tensioners, and we should be in pretty good shape on this. I feel like the stance is looking pretty good. Happy with that so far. He was fine just leaving that crusty fender on there, but I'd like to put a fresh one on there and at least have some better material for doing the bungs and brackets and all of that. We gotta figure out how we're gonna set this up. I might notch this a tiny bit too on the rear once the new one gets here, because this could come down another 1/4 inch or so, I think, around here. And then we gotta figure out seat, tail lights, all the other stuff. You did spot that one. Didn't mind that, so maybe I'll end up doing a Cobra or something on here instead of a little sprung seat. Don't really know. We'll tackle that road when we get to it. So there we go. Gas tank is mounted. Another day, another not dollar, but one more thing off the list. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.